Hello, this is Abraham Lincoln, the president who whooped those rebel traitors. I whooped those goddamn rebel traitors. I'm here to introduce Austin's awesome perilogan in The War on America. And we're talking about the Republicans in the 21st century. A shame to the name Republican. I promise you, I, Abraham Lincoln, the president who whooped those rebel traitors, will be kicking the butts of every goddamn Republican who comes to heaven, all right? I'm sure that won't be very many of them. They are conducting a war on America. And you know, I'll bet it's mostly Southern white guys, isn't it? So you see, the war in America is in a way nothing new. I was there first. Only way to deal with these Republicans is to destroy and kill them. Just totally mess them up, right? Just like I did. Just like I whooped those rebel traitors, those goddamn rebel traitors. Ladies and gentlemen, the Perry Logan Show! February 27th, 2014, Arizona Governor Jan Brewer vetoes a bill that would have given shopkeepers the right to discriminate in Arizona. A major setback in the Republican war on America. Right. And I think the perspicacious viewer knows that the only reason the righties turned against their own bill, which would have legalized discrimination against our gay brothers and sisters, or anyone else, was because the big corporations opposed it. Is there any doubt that after 30 years of the Republican Revolution, the corporations run everything? Give me a break. It turned out this discrimination law was so bad, so terribly, terribly conservative, so terribly right-wing, it was going to eat into the profits. And you know, conservatives would never do anything to eat into the profits. Heaven forbid! But as we leave the Earth's gravitational field, we think, but you know, this is a distinct pattern in modern conservatism, which we should all note. Even as Governor Brewer, no doubt reluctantly, signs her veto, we can see Republican laws are specifically designed to screw things up for various portions of the population. Here's Perry. Hello, thank you. Thank you for watching, I love you. Now that that's out of the way, take a moment to note that Republican laws, the kinds of laws that Republicans write in this day and age, February 27th, 2014, pay attention! The laws that Republicans pass are all of them, like virtually all Republican laws, are specifically and diabolically designed to screw things up for a portion of the population. Could this possibly be true? Why, yes. Well, that's what you should learn. The law, this really is, they tell me, you know, I believe anything they tell me. And they tell me, first of all, that it's February 27th, 2014. And secondly, that Jan Brewer, the governor of Arizona, you know, Arizona is like this hotbed of bad ideas. It's like a hotbed of conservative bad ideas. It's like watching a State of the Union just sort of devolve into a horrific third world country, kind of a third world cesspool. Welcome to Arizona, the third world cesspool. Welcome to Arizona in the 21st century, turning itself into a stinking third world cesspool by dint of one evil, stupid, destructive Republican law. Each of which, if you will please take notice, is specifically designed to screw things up for a portion of the population. Well, yes. Those of you who are taking this as a class should write this down. Republican laws always target a specific portion of the population. They target people. How's that for a grotesque misuse of government? How's that for getting Republicans immediately out of government? If I am elected, I, Perry Logan, promise. Hey, suddenly I'm running for president. I, Perry Logan, upon taking office, will immediately declare martial law, arrest all Republicans, and get the right out of our country. You see, apparently the Republicans got their own view of what government is for. What is government for? Well, we learned, especially in 2010, the year 2010, kind of a dark year in political history in the old U.S. 2010 was the Great Shellacking. The Great Shellacking was the year, it was a 2010 thing, it was in midterm elections when the Democrats really got whooped. The Republicans swept state houses and local governances especially. They gained seats in Congress. It was a bad year. 2010 was the Great Shellacking. Okay. Now, I think it was because people were so disappointed that the Democrats didn't get them what they wanted. See, people wanted single payer. I guess people forget this by now, but the polls indicated back then in like 2008 or so that people wanted single payer. And the Democrats proceeded to give them Romney Care. They really did. They gave them a kind of a Republican bill. Romney Care turned into Obamacare, written by insurance company lobbyists. I'm sure not a Democrat amongst them, much less a socialist. That's what he gave us, and people were mad. See, we asked for health care reform, and we got health insurance reform of some kind. Well, that's just my version of what led to the Great Shellacking. The point is, the Republicans were swept into office all over the place. This is the Republicans being swept into office all over the place. Notice through nothing they did. Notice, through nothing good about Republicans. They were just swept in because people were mad at the Democrats, and voters in the U.S. Only feel like they have two choices. Kind of like in a little mental box of their own creation. More later. More on that mental box later. Well, locked into this situation, they threw the Democrats out. But the point is, what happened? Do you remember what happened when those repubs all across the land took office? So what did they do? Did they start doing stuff to make jobs? Nuh-uh. Did they start fixing our failing infrastructure? Nuh-uh. Did they do anything to help the faltering safety net? Oh, don't be silly. What did they do? Well, you see, once they got elected, those Republicans forgot all about jobs and campaign promises, and then they started writing these creepy, vicious, conservative Republican laws, each of which, I swear to God, each law targets a specific group of Americans and tries to screw up their lives. So they wrote laws trying to mess things up for pregnant women. Oh, that's one of their favorites. They just started passing anti-abortion laws in the apparent belief that if we force women to have babies, we will have a healthy and harmonious society. My thoughts exactly. I've even written a song about it called, "If We Force Women to Have Babies, We Will Have a Happy and Healthy Society." It's 2010. The Republicans are swept into state houses and local jurisdictions all over America. And what do? They pass laws to force women to have babies and just kind of screw things up. Screw things up for women of childbearing age. And then they pass laws to screw things up for gays. They pass laws to screw things up for unions. You get the picture? They pass laws to make it harder to vote. Republicans who will talk all day about freedom and bend your ear about freedom, and we love that. Republicans who say they're all for freedom, and the first thing they do, this is the first thing that many of these places do, is they start making it harder to vote, especially if you're Democratic. You see, a specific group of people are targeted. You see, it's like a central government intrusion, direct central government intrusion into individual rights. You know, the right to vote is in the Constitution. It's not even an amendment. It's like in the Constitution. And the first thing these bloody effing Republicans do, so help me God, is to pass laws, just like central government in your life, making it harder to like take away your rights. They are taking away your rights. And with that thought, Perry's face melted. Oh, jeez, did you see that? His face melted. Ew. And as his face melted, Perry thought, well, that's just the thing. Forget the war on women. Republicans are at war with America. They're at war with the whole country. How else can you explain why the first thing they would do when they get into office is forget all their promises and start attacking everyone's rights? Group by group, they break Americans down. They go after women, gays, Muslims, liberals, Democrats, voters. One by one, the people of America fall to the swath of the Republican war on America. This is Sigmund Freud, and I am very, very high on cocaine. Cocaine. I have a brain. Just a minute. Thank you. It was the cocaine talking. I'm Sigmund Freud, and I agree with Austin's beloved Perry Logan, who says the Republicans in 21st century America are almost literally at war with America. They are clearly breaking Americans down into groups and attacking them singularly, just like the Nazis. The Republicans in this respect are just like the Nazis. Run, Americans, run! Woo, woo, woo! Cocaine. Sorry, it was the cocaine again. But as the founder of psychotherapy, I, Sigmund Freud, believe the Republicans are at war with America because of the repressed realization that their policies have failed. What? I'm sorry. Going to heaven has done nothing for my accent. Let's put it this way. The Republicans are at war with America because of the repressed realization that their policies have failed. Their policies have failed like dung. Their policies have failed like turds. Yeah, that's what I said. Well, that's my theory. Comes straight from Sigmund Freud. It comes straight from my, like, fantasy version of Sigmund Freud. Just a minute. Who was not as silly as I. But hey, let's get Freudian for a minute. What's the deal with this Republican war on America? What happened? Why would they do that? Why would the once proud GOP, why would the once proud Republican Party have developed this awful kind of like a parody of government, a parody of a party, which really and truly, if you just take a look, just get out there and take a look at what they're doing here in Texas, all over the country, Republicans are passing laws which isolate and target specific groups of their fellow Americans for destruction. Oh, well, not necessarily total destruction, but they are just working to screw things up. This is what Republicans have come to do. And why? You know, why would Republicans and righties become so damn disagreeable? You would think the liberals had like personally robbed these people, right? Personally robbed these people, or, you know, like had an affair with their significant other, or, I don't know, murdered their children? Did liberals murder your children? Is that your problem? Because you seem to hate your fellow Americans almost to a man and woman. I mean, you know, this is what I'm saying. Forget the war on women, the Republican war on women. And I don't mean forget it at all. It's one of their wars. But you see, that's what I mean. Forget the war on women. It's a war on America. It's a war on all of us. Chances are you're on some bloody Republican list. Fools! Chances are you're someone the Republicans, well, they just hate you, you know. Okay, so now how could that happen? How could this pervasive distemper, if I may say, pervasive distemper. Bob? Bob, are you okay? I said pervasive distemper, and my audience died. I didn't even shoot him. Replacement audience, please. Hi. I'm sorry, I'm Perry Logan, the only political show that routinely kills its audience. For their own good. Okay, what explains that pervasive distemper? I said pervasive distemper of the political right in America, you see, is the repressed awareness that their policies have humongously failed. How do we tell Republicans? How do we tell the righties? The folks we lovingly call the righties, whose representatives in Congresses all over the country routinely and on a daily basis are passing laws designed to screw up your life, and your life, and your life, and my life. Chances are, unless, you know, you're like an aging white male of a rightward persuasion. Okay, well, for some reason, we have a major political party which has taken upon itself to just, you know, louse things up. I think that's just it. And I can only explain that in psychological terms. Hey, Republicans are always telling liberals what liberals think. Hey, I want to say another thing, you know, part of that war is that, you know, liberals, they will condemn liberals and tell liberals what liberals think, and tell one another what liberals think. You see, now these people, honest to God, think they can read the minds of people, liberals, whose words they can barely understand. You gotta love it. Hey, just check back over the last 30 years and you will see that it's been 3 mostly conservative decades in an effing row. It's a wonder we're alive. You know, I mean, it's a wonder we're alive, don't you think? Maybe, okay, maybe we're not. Look at this. It all started with Ronald Dust Squad Reagan. It just seemed like our policies went conservative. I don't really think that people went conservative, although this was claimed. But it's not so much that they went conservative as that they went dumb. It was the 1980s, the decade of dumb. And while we were like still pretty much riding high, I think today, and you of the future, can realize just how far down we've come. From the 80s, we had no idea how fat and happy we were in the 1980s, right? Nah, I don't know about you, but when I watch movies from the 1980s, I have a tendency to notice that everyone has all this money. In the 1980s, compared to today, things really have truly statistically gotten worse since that time. And that's what I mean. Things really have gotten worse. Things went to the right, at least in terms of public policy with Reagan. And that meant, I guess, it was a whole lot of tax breaks for the rich, a whole lot of bailouts. That whole miserable Republican Revolution thing, well, it was tried for 3 decades, mostly. And it's a wonder we're alive. Personally, I think we're only alive because of Bill Clinton. How's that for a good one? No, Bill Clinton was things really were getting worse. Poverty, with Reagan, poverty started going up. We had homelessness. And of course the corporations took over. And, we really kind of turned into a corporatocracy. The Democrats doing, I must say, very little to fight it. However, in the middle of all this was Bill Clinton, kind of known as at least a centrist Democrat who, I must admit, played along with some of these terrible ideas. Nevertheless, as things got better under Clinton, they really did. They got better in a palpable sense. Income went up at all levels. Poverty dropped precipitously, and we were paying off the deficits. Hey. So maybe we should just ask Bill Clinton what he did to get us out of our slough, right? Okay. Well, now, it seems to me that conservative policies, and these economic ones are at the center, they've been given a chance. They've been given a hell of a chance. They've been given a chance that's probably a longer period of time than most of you watching, if anybody's watching, 30-some years. And Obama really hasn't changed things too radically. He's really kind of didn't change things much. Hence, things are not much better under Obama. You see how that works? Yes. But focusing on the Republicans, you see, look at Reaganomics. Now get this. This is like a joke. This is like a one-liner. Hey, folks. Reaganomics was supposed to pay off the deficit. I'll give you that again. Reaganomics was supposed to pay off the deficit. Oh, and of course what happened was it gave us the sort of modern, big as the crab nebula deficit. And it didn't stop there, Every subsequent Republican president has racked up a bigger deficit, like much bigger deficit than the one before. And there's Bill Clinton in the middle of it who didn't do any such thing. He was paying it off. And we were having some good times. And we were still kind of fat and happy. And my theory is if it weren't for Bill Clinton, we'd all be dead. Thank you. I've even written a song about it called If It Weren't for Bill Clinton, We'd All Be Dead. Hello, and welcome to the Museum of the Republican War on America. Here we have displays outlining the Republicans' extensive and unending war on our sisters, ultimately seeking to enforce their religious views on the rest of America. Think about it, a party at war with women. The Republicans deny it, but the women know better. And I, Perry Logan, would be happy to surrender to the women anytime. Just kidding. Here at the Museum of the Republican War on America, we can see that barely has any group been left out of the attacks. Indeed, anything that would help the public health seems to enrage the Republicans, and one of their most potent weapons is the lie. The lie! That's right. Republicans and righties like to complain that Obama lied about Obamacare. And I, Perry Logan, happen to agree, but so what? The right have yet to say a true word about Obamacare. Don't you remember? They said Obamacare would bring death panels, health rationing, companies dumping their employer-sponsored health care en masse, companies shifting millions of workers to part-time work, a staggering increase in health care premiums for everyone, or at least everyone with an individual policy, Chinese hackers stealing health care data, the end of Medicare, the end of innovation in American medical care, the end of innovation in American medical care, massive economic implosion, hail riot and civil commotion, free health care for illegal immigrants, free sex change operations, communist takeover, a deliberate catastrophe designed to bring on single payer, the death of liberalism, the end of the universe. Oh my God, the right are at war with their fellow Americans, and they're lying through their teeth today. Oh yes, they're lying through their teeth today. What's going on, Sim? Just a segue, Quim? You want to do it? Yes? That was very satisfactory.